Good afternoon.
Hello. Hi, Harsh.
Hi, Vinu.
Good afternoon.
You can start the interview. I'll just drop off.
Sure, thank you. Thanks for joining today. So I think I have some also part of the panel today, and we would probably start the discussion by giving you a quick walkthrough of what our organization is and what the role is all about. Um, we are from Suntory Global Spirits. We recently changed our name from Beam Suntory to Suntory Global Spirits, and we are the third largest liquor organization in the world. And we, of course, manufacture and distribute um, liquor products across the globe. We have BI and analytics, or I would say digital and data analytics team reporting. So we support businesses across the globe. Currently, we have a project that is we are migrating Tableau to Power BI. So we have a lot of reports in production which are due for migration, and we are migrating them to Power BI, and that's happening across the globe. So that probably would be the first uh, um, task or the responsibilities of an individual who's going to join us, and that is the role that we are hiring for today. So that's a quick introduction from us. We want to understand a little bit about you. You know, where are you coming from? What kind of experience you have, and if you maybe a project that you have done, maybe expand on it and talk through that project, what you have done in that project from the data point of view, what did you create, or what was the business value generated, such things. So,
Okay, thank you, Harsh. Thank you for having me. My name is Arshan, MBA in Finance, and I do have total 5.8 years experience into Power BI. I worked on SQL and Excel as well. I have handled multiple domain like sales, insurance, banking, HR, and my current project was into medical domain. It was a medical company called Natus. They were into manufacturing of medical equipment. So they are specifically into neuro and sensory. So we were right now building a analytical solution that gives insight about the product performance, like licensing of software, risk analysis, security of application. For that, we were using import mode. So data source was SQL, Jira, GitHub, and for the KPI, we were showing high, low, medium risk performance from Black Duck and Coverity. So Black Duck and Coverity are the two software where whatever the product they had, so they were monitoring their performance into those product into the high level medium risk performance wise. So that data for all the product I have to show it on my dashboard. So and from the I was using the trend, chart. I was getting the data from the uh, Jira. So there I have to show the task, like which is done, which is not done. So for that I have use the area chart. So for their how much and the area chart in the line they have shown like how much task is done, how much is pending, how much is to do. So that was showing the that. And then for the stack bar chart where we were showing the performance for the Black Duck and Coverity, where data where the data was showing on the Black Duck and Coverity for high, medium, and low performance, low medium performance for the with the stack bar chart. And for the line for the area bar chart I have used a slicer where we have put the filter there, like week wise or task wise, to do, pending, all done or not. That way I have used that. And for the GitHub I have used GitHub. I have created the uh, I have used the direct query mode where I have directly taken the data from the GitHub and from the direct mode. So all the changes were done into the source file only. I just had to create a dashboard there. So for the requirement was there to create the pull request data. So into that visual, we have created measure which refers the detail about the past 12 month data, past 12 month pull request, current month pull request is pending, last week request, or slicer monthly. In the slicer month wise, we can see the pull request, and in the line chart, to show the average hours spent on pull request to by every month, by every month, that way. And the stack area chart I have shown there to show the total hours to pull every month. So that way I have made many dashboard there. So into the GitHub report, what the report they were pulling out, they were saying they wanted to see the performance from the employees, what which employees is what task they are doing. So according to that, we had to build a dashboard there. Experience into Power BI. I have worked mostly HR related product, HR related dashboards. So where I have worked on the attrition and recruitment data, sales data. One insurance project also I have worked on. So 4 5 project I have made. Like in between, I was handling a small project, but the big project I have handled are these project like insurance project, attrition project, and into the HR project also there were multiple department, and the dashboard were there. So many reports were there. So what I have maintained.
Okay.
Contributor from the Power BI side. Apart from that, for SQL and Azure, one guy was there for the SQL and Azure side, and my manager and one team member was there for the Power BI side for the as a support.
To in Power BI? What are data sources you work?
What kind of dimensions the sale data can have? What kind of facts do you think sales would have?
We can distribute the dimension of the different 5 dimension, like time dimension. It attributes like year, quarter, month, day. Purpose of analyzing that sales data, what is a different time period we are going to analyze the data. And geographical wise, we can see the data and attributes like country, region, state, city, store location. Or customer dimension, we can see like customer ID, customer name, or which age group they belong, which gender, and how loyal they are, like how if they have subscription, so how frequently they come into your store. That way we can see. And we can see the
All right. So
sales.
how would the model look like? So like, do you
Is the star schema is ideal way to model the scenario. Like if the fact table is will be the sales table. So like it will contain the sales ID, date, product ID, customer ID, or store location ID, or channel ID, sales amount, or quantity sold, that way. Or the dimension table can contain the column date, year, quarter, month, day, that way. Or geographical dimension will be there, like so many dimension table can be there, like product dimension, geographical dimension, customer dimension, or sales channel dimension. And
What do
that
you
way
think would
will.
be the
Mhm.
facts? So you've talked a lot of dimensions here. What would you think would be the facts in this whole star schema, the whole scenario?
Like a sales fact connecting to time dimension via the date column, and sales, then the product dimension, and geographical dimension. The sales table will be the fact table there.
Okay.
Mhm.
all right? So now do you think that's possible in Power BI, and if yes, how?
Like we can create a view of year to date, month to date, and the quarter to date sales in Power BI, including slices. So with switching, like switch between these product, like we can create a year to date, month to date view with the slicer. So for that we have to provide create a text function there, for the year to date, or
How would you do that? How would that look like?
we that way we have to create the slicer. Another table we will create by creating the text function, then we'll put that into the slicer. We will use the line chart to display the year to date sales set x-axis to the date and the y-axis for the table. Like we can use separate line chart to bar chart for the weekly and monthly sales, or set the x-axis to the date and the y-axis to the repeat measures like weekly or monthly sales.
So you said that we have to create a table, right? So how would the columns look like in that table?
Table year table then.
Okay, but how would you place them like in a slicer? Like because you need to have like a in the slicer. Because you have like a, let's say you have a table below, which is showing.
That we can do the dynamically change the display. Like we can select the QTD in the slicer. You can use the dex measure to adjust the based on the slicer selection. Like, and we can create a measure, a dynamic, like create a measure of dynamic sales. Like for MTD or a pin, then we'll create a new table for the slicer value. Create a new table Power BI desktop for going to the modeling, into the modeling. Then we can create a new table there for slicer value, or value and slicer. So then we can add the slicer as a visualization, and then we can drag the MTD or YTD slicer use. We can select the dose desired value there, so we can create a measure.
Okay, all right.
So you want me to apply the dex function there?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's up to you.
Roughly, what would be the function?
Yeah.
What would be the DAX?
Like we can like order the data or filter the data according to that. We can select the top four, and from or we can do the order by value into the dex rec.
But they want to make it happen through a filter. So they would have a date filter, then they would have like a week to select, and they want to go in the past also.
Just May. That's your max date. You want to go back to last 4 weeks and to have your last 4 weeks value based on the max date, that is today's date, that is 21st of May. So how would the DAX look like for pulling in last 4 weeks data?
Okay, so then last four gig pair select time frame. Then we can select the value or like parameter table there, like time frame return switch. That way we can put the switch parameter there.
I don't want it through parameter. I want it on my max date.
So then we'll like we can create a last 4 week measure. We can create like calculate some function of value, then filter that today by. Shall I write it?
So you'll hard code 4 weeks value there. Are you saying that?
Yeah, last 4 week measure we can create that. We can calculate some like NP.
Which DAX function to be very specific will you use here for calculating last week's?
Calculate the sum of
data?
sales amount. Like we can create a measure there.
Mhm. Okay.
Like calculate
I
function
think
will utilize to filter function to define the filter condition there.
okay. Okay. So for them.
First I'll get the document and the discussion part with the client. What is their requirement? What is the data understanding is, and all the after all the discussion, if I get the data, so I need to understand what I'm going to do that with this data, and what I have to perform. After that, I'll create a sprint accord. What is their requirement? What so I'll decide a timeline there. So in first 10 day in sprint wise, I'll decide a timeline. Like timeline calculation. This task, how much time it will take. So according to that, I'll decide the timeline there sprint wise, and will update weekly to the client. First day I have to understand the data. uh, so if the data understanding data understand, so in first sprint I'll create that. Then I'll take the data from the server. So server, and the calculation part I'll do on the second sprint. so that way, and how much that calculation thing and the coordination thing will take time. So according to that, and the coordination, including the coordination as well, I have to uh, decide the sprint and the timeline as well of after that, the calculation, the calculation part, power query editing and everything will done. Then the how much time I'll take the relation, how much time I'll take the time for making the modeling and the creating the relationship between the table. And uh, and if so that way I have to decide my time and create the sprint there, how much time it is going to take. So that estimation I have to give to the client before, and we have to take the buffer time as well. If the some team member will go on leave, if will go get stuck somewhere, if will not be able to understand something, so taking including the buffer time, we have to provide the make the sprint and propose to the client there.
Okay. Harsh, do you have some follow-ups?
No, I think that's it for me.
Okay.
Do you have any questions
Okay,
for us, Archana, before we close?
I got the JD. So what will be the JD actually? Like I have to take the data from the Tableau and transform the data into the Power BI. Do the do the
So
changes.
our data is hosted. Our data is hosted in GCP, and there are also multiple data sources that we are using in the organization. And and so basically, whatever the Tableau is using, the Power BI is going to just use the same.
Okay. Okay, understood. Thanks so much.
Any other question?
No, thank you.
All right. Thank you for your time, Archana.
Thank you.
You have a
Thank
good day.
you. Yeah.
Good day.